It's a wild day in the world of Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast has just revealed that the upcoming Brothers War set is going to feature cards from the Transformers Kids cartoon.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings! Owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends! I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered to talk about absolute insanity. There's so much going on with the Brothers War, and I mean Magic in general right now. It's been back to back to back. I literally put out a video today already talking about the Brothers War leak. You might not have even seen that, so if you haven't, go check it out after this. But for now, we gotta talk about Transformers cards. They're gonna be available inside of set boosters, collector boosters, and curiously enough, bundles. I don't know how that works, but I do know what the cards look like. So, with no further ado, let's dive in and see what we've got. We are starting out with Optimus Prime, and for me, this is absolutely fantastic. I started with the original generation of Transformers, and there was a kid up the street who actually had the Optimus Prime toy. It had the crazy trailer that opened up with the little buggy that came out. I was so jealous. All I ever had was one little Garbo GoBot. I've never actually owned a Transformer, but I still very much enjoy the original stylings of this one Optimus Prime. Now you'll notice there's two styles. The other is Shattered Glass, and it kind of looks like it might be evil alternate versions of them or more hardcore edgy versions. I don't know. Someone else will have to let me know. I am not a Transformers expert. So let's talk about the magical abilities of this card. 1 white, 1 red, 1 blue, and 3 allows you to pull through the multiverse and summon Optimus Prime from universes beyond. He's a 4/8 legendary artifact creature robot. More than meets the eye is the Transformers ability. So this is 1 white, 1 red, 1 blue, and 2, so 1 less than his normal casting cost. And if you pay the more than meets the eye cost, how it works is you play the card flipped over on the other side instead of it coming face up, right? Now, he says at the beginning of each end step, bolster 1. And if you don't know what bolster is, pick the creature you have in play with the lowest toughness and add a +1/+1 counter to it for bolster 1. And when Optimus Prime dies, return it to the battlefield converted under its owner's control. That's crazy. You can't get rid of him. He'll keep coming back. And on the other side, he's a 6/8 legendary artifact vehicle. And you'll note that while he's a vehicle, you cannot crew him. None of the vehicle Transformers can be crewed, but they do have living metal, which means that during your turn, they are creatures. So you don't have to crew it. Optimus Prime will automatically be able to attack. He's a 6/8 trampler, and whenever you attack, you bolster 2. So your smallest toughness creature gets 2 +1/+1 counters, and that creature also gains trample until end of turn. And when that creature deals combat damage to a player, then you get to flip Optimus Prime back over. This is some absolutely crazy card design right here. The next card is my absolute favorite, and that is Starscream. Starscream Power Hungry, to be specific. So, he is a legendary artifact creature robot for 1 black and 3. He is 2/3. He more than meets your eye for 1 black and 2. He has flying. Whenever you draw a card, if you're the monarch, target opponent loses 2 life. Whenever 1 or more creatures deal combat damage to you, convert Starscream. Starscream is so cool from a flavor perspective, right? Optimus Prime definitely had that I'm a guardian leader kind of vibe, and Starscream encapsulates the cowardly and also desire for power that was his trademark, right? He's always trying to betray Megatron and take over the Transformers like anybody would, not Transformers, sorry, the Decepticons. Take over the Decepticons like anybody would actually follow him, right? He's cowardly and power hungry. And the fact that if you're the Monarch, then he's running around being a bully boy for you. But if you take damage, then he flips over into his jet. He basically flies away. And I really enjoy that in this artwork, it shows him like Megatron is walking away while Starscream is standing there in his little plotting stance, like, I will seize power. It's so good. And Megatron always seemed so epic because he just didn't care. Starscream could try and take power from him, and he was just like, dude, you can be here. It doesn't matter. I can handle you with no problems. So on the other side, you have Starscream, Seeker Leader. So he's got Living Metal. He is a 2/3 flyer. He has Flying, Menace, and Haste. When he deals combat damage to a player, if there's no Monarch, that player becomes the Monarch. I love his weaselly, cowardly nature where he'll go to the other side. He'll literally make someone else the Monarch. And when you become the Monarch, you convert Starscream. So when someone else hits you when you're the Monarch, he flies off and is just like, I'm only here to be with the leader. And as soon as you regain leadership, he converts and is like, I was always on your side. It's perfect. In terms of flavor, the mechanics, this is an amazing execution. I adore it. After that, we've got another one I'm a super huge fan of, Soundwave. And actually, if you were in my live stream over on my other channel, Hatcher, you would have heard me talk about how these Transformer cards were coming. And this is the one that I knew was coming because I had been given some forewarning about it. Every once in a while, a little birdie or maybe a little cassette in robot form, a little flying bird comes in and whispers secrets to me. And Soundwave, he was one of them secrets that I learned about. Now, this is an interesting card. 1 black, 1 blue, 1 white, and 1 for a 5/4 legendary artifact creature robot. It's got more than meet the eye, but his more than meets the eye is actually higher than his normal casting cost, which I find to be very, very interesting, but it's based on the power of the card, right? So, whenever one or more creature tokens you control deal combat damage to a player, exile target instant or sorcery card with mana value equal to the damage dealt from their graveyard, copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. If you do, convert Soundwave. Now, these cards are very wordy, so if it's not clear to you what this is saying, when you swing with a bunch of tokens, you get to add up all the combat damage they dealt to a player and then pick an instant or sorcery that has a casting cost that's equal to or less than all of that damage and cast it as a copy for free. That is awesome, right? That's a great ability. And I just really enjoy the idea that he flips back and forth. That was my favorite conversion. Out of all the transformations, Soundwave was my favorite, him going to the actual cassette player. So, Soundwave Superior Captain on the other side. Whenever you cast a spell with an odd mana value, convert Soundwave. If you do, create Ravage, a legendary 3/3 black robot artifact creature token with menace and death touch. And you can see the Ravage token right there. Now, obviously, we don't get to see the other token yet. If you didn't know, this is only part of the spoiler batches for this. There should be, if I'm not mistaken, and I will correct this later if I'm wrong, but there should be 15 different cards, maybe 16. I'm not sure because we get like 2 different versions of each, but it might be 15 with alternates. So we might be like 30 in total, plus the tokens that they would make. But anyway, speaking of tokens, to continue with Soundwave's ability, whenever you cast a spell with an even mana value, convert Soundwave. If you do, create Laserbeak, a legendary 2/2 blue robot artifact creature token with flying and hexproof. And actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, playing him on the more than meets the eye side and flipping it over, it isn't that strong. I said it was, but I was wrong. I feel like it's just when you cast a spell, you get to make a token. That's okay, but you have to pay so much to do it. He actually kind of feels like he might be slow rolling, and his front side is going to be more exciting than his back side, all right? Oh, I didn't mean it the way I said it. If you're into Robo, you know what? Never mind. We're moving on. I'm moving on to the next card. We're going to talk about Slicer. Now, I don't actually know who this dude is. I cannot remember this guy. I don't know if he's from a different generation of Transformers, so I can't really gauge how effectively they've done in executing the concept. Like Soundwave felt good. He made the different token creatures that felt right. All that's good. But Slicer Hired Muscle is 1 red and 4 for a 3/4. He more than meets your eye for 3. And he has Double Strike and Haste. Oh, that's a nice start. I know the inventor of Double Strike, in case you guys did not know that. Anyways, at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may have that player gain control of Slicer until end of turn. If you do untap Slicer, goat it, and it can't be sacrificed this turn if you don't convert it. Okay, so I guess he's just a thug who will just like maybe go to whatever side. This card is one type that I am definitely not a fan of. I don't like cards that I hand over to my opponents. I'm not like really big into the commander political stuff. So for me, this is a what's his other side? Let's see here. He is a 3/2 living metal first strike haste. When he deals combat damage to a player converted at end of combat. Okay, so I'm just going to have to say that across the board, because of the combination of me not really knowing the character and me not being particularly into the mechanics, this isn't a win for me. But putting that aside, 5 mana for a 3/4 double striker that can deal 6 damage every combat that you can swing around to everybody does seem like an interesting way to shake things up if that's something you enjoy doing. So I can't say that it's a bad card, just that to me, it's uninteresting. So let's carry on to the next card, which is Goldbug. Wait, Goldbug? What happened to Bumblebee? Who's Goldbug? Okay, Goldbug humanity wait, is that Bumblebee's body with somebody else's head? Did he? The card looks this. Is that Bumblebee? Okay, what is going on? Anyway, somebody tell me in the comments, please. Explain this to me. I got traumatized by that Transformer movie. I'm not ready for this. All right, Goldbug, humanity's ally. 1 blue, 1 white, and 1 for a 3/3. What is he? More than meets the eye for a blue and a white. And he prevents all combat damage that would be dealt to attacking humans you control. Oh, that's interesting. So he's got a tribal human love going on. Huh. All right. And whenever you cast your second spell each turn, convert Goldbug. So you don't have to convert him unless you really want to, but he limits you. Like if you want to keep him in the preventing combat damage phase, then you have to have him ready to go, right? You can't just cast as many spells as you want and use that. So what does he do on the other side? Human spells you control can't be countered, and whenever Goldbug and at least one other human attack, draw a card and convert him. Okay. I mean, this is very specific. It's weird. So I guess you can... Yeah, I don't know. That whole, like, you got to cast 2 spells to flip them over then to make it so that your humans aren't counterable? I don't know, man. I just want to know where my sweet little... Where's my precious boy? Where's my precious Bumblebee? Legit, is this... please don't tell me that this is Bumblebee's, like, body with another head on it. I'm not going to be able to handle it, man. It even looks like he's hanging out with that... Is that the same kid? Is that the same kid who hung out with Bumblebee? What was his name? Spike or something like that? I can't. We got to move on. Let's move on to Flame War Brash Veteran, because I don't know who this is. But this card, actually, I remember this one being strong. 1 red, 1 black, and 1. 3/2, more than meets the eye for a red and a black. Sack another artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and convert it, but you can only do it as sorcery speed. Pay 1 mana, discard your hand, I should say. Put all exiled cards you own with intel counters on them into your hand. And the other side is Flame War Streetwise Operative, Living Metal, and is a 2/1. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, exile that many cards from the top of your library face down, put an intel counter on each of them, convert Flame War. This feels very strong to me. You know what I mean? The first time you put it out and convert it, the bike's already going to be 3/2. You hit your opponent, and then when you flip it back over, then you can pay 1 mana to discard your hand and then draw 3 cards. And then the next time you flip this thing over, boom, now, oh look, it's 4 power because of the +1/+1 counters, right? And if you have anything to boost Flame War's power, like, this just genuinely feels really strong. Red and black don't do that well in terms of easy card draw, right? Like red has very limited card draw in terms of, yes, you can get bonus cards, but they'll go, okay, here you go. You can only cast them during this turn. It's exile the cards, you can play them this turn versus drawing. And black, this ability does feel more akin to the black ability, where black will allow you to sack a creature or sack an artifact to draw cards, or black will let you pay life as a resource. So really, it is giving red more of an ability, but you also sacking a creature to boost your guy and draw 3, 4, 5 cards, that's a really big boost compared to what you normally get. In terms of the flavor behind the card, I'm not sure why this character as an archer has 0 abilities that feel like they're an archer. Like Menace and Death Touch as a motorcycle. You look at the motorcycle, especially in the regular drawn version, it does not look menacing. It's just leaned up against the wall. Like, how is it Death Touch? Is there poison smeared on the handles? Or, oh, I get it. It'll fall on you and crush your spleen and you'll just underneath it, right? Like the abilities, it feels like a powerful card, but the abilities with the bow and arrow and the whole like motorcycle, why isn't Death Touch like with that pew shot? I mean, maybe that would make Flame War on the one side too strong, but ultimately that's my biggest question. Anyhow, that wraps up the Transformers spoilers. The live stream that I normally do on this channel every evening has been moved over to the Hatcher YouTube channel because, well, 2 videos today has kind of crammed things up. If you haven't already seen the earlier video about the Brothers War leak, you can check that out. Also, come and swing by the live stream on the Hatcher channel. I'll leave links for both on the screen. Have a good one. Thanks to my patrons, and I'll see you all next time.